host. I'm Notorious One. I am Dom, and today I'm here with my boys from the Doesn't Matter podcast. I got my man John Stratfax. I got my man the Dominican Dream, Poppy Platino. I got my co-host from the Nitro podcast. I got BDC. I got my man Adrian from Suplex Dinner Club, and I got the Savage one. I got Savage E, and he is here. But today we're gonna talk about the culture. It's Black History Month, and we're gonna honor all these top African American and gonna show them love. So today we're gonna kick it off with my man Savage, and he wants to talk about 1992 Inspirational Wrestler of the Year. He's in the class of 2012 Hall of Fame. He is a three-time tag team champion with JBL. He is a WCW NWA tag team champion as a part of Doom with the Natural Butch Reed, and he is the first WCW champion, world heavyweight champion for African American, and he is my man who's sitting behind Ron Simmons, also known as Farouk Savage. Let's get into it.
What up?
So, what made you choose my
Let's get
man
into it.
Ron Simmons?
Well, that's an easy question to answer, Dom. I chose to celebrate Ron Simmons because he is, very simply put, one of the most important figures in sports or in
So you got
professional wrestling history. It's that simple. And it starts with it starts with that championship. I mean, there have been black champions in the past, but him winning the WCW World Championship in '92, the first recorded African American world champion on the books. That's obviously the high point of his career, the most important part of his career. But I think the most important part about Ron Simmons is the way he views that time in his career. He doesn't think of the way that championship win affected him. He thinks about how it impacted others. And I think that says a lot about Ron Simmons. He knows what kind of doors were open and what kind of inspiration
that was a
took place
proud
after
moment. I
that
remember that moment
championship
when
win. I
he
think
won
that
that
says
title.
everything
I
about
remember
him.
that the black kid in the front row jumping up and down, and everybody all hype praising him, and all the wrestlers from the back they came out and they showed him love. It was a
Mhm.
God, it was a great moment, especially to be a black man witnessing that.
It it was, and that's the thing. When you see some of the recent interviews, I think on Broken Skull Sessions, to hear Ron Simmons talk about that time, and he accurately points out, he says, look at the crowd, not just the black people in the crowd. Look at the crowd. As soon as that three came down, everybody jumped up. Everybody jumped up. And that's the thing. That victory did a lot for the black community. It did a lot for black wrestling fans. Um, but it helped grow the business. Ron Simmons helped grow the business. That's what people have to understand. When you get all of these new crop of wrestlers inspired from that win, I mean, we see some of the talented African American wrestlers that come after Ron Simmons. Every one of them inspired by him. Every one of them knows that moment, and I think that's the most important part of his legacy because of what it did for the wrestlers that came after him. It's just undeniable.
Was it was it six
And it
months you
was a
said?
nice little like 6 month stretch he had with that championship too, 5 or 6 months, something like that. Yeah, it was something like that. He had it. He didn't have it for a full year, but he had it for a nice stretch of time. He won it from Vader, and then he lost it to Vader again. But I want to say I don't really remember how long it
Hey,
was,
that
five,
guys, how
six
you
months,
feel
something
about
like that.
Ron Simmons?
Ron Simmons was that dog back in the day. You know, I didn't really catch on to WCW until the essentially the Nitro and WCW Saturday Night era. So I'm at that age. I missed seeing him win. His championship. Although I've seen videos of it ever since, and the moment is monumental. But I was very well aware of who he was by the time he hit WWE. Um, so it was awesome to see how he basically took into every role that he's played, had you believing that every one of his roles that he did was literally a part of him. I mean, I straight up believe when he was for real, I was like, oh, this dude is gonna be a monster. And then when he later became part of the Acolytes and the APA, it was just basically still an extension of him. He was no talk. It was all about the business and all about handing out ass whoopings left and right. You know, it's only in his retirement where he's kind of become like a comic relief type character with damn. But you know, even then, it's like every now and then he come out there, it is like, okay, he still look like he about to whoop somebody's ass.
No doubt.
Definitely was, especially in his prime, was the epitome of what a strong black athlete looked like, what a strong blackity black athlete talked like, and was absolutely the epitome of what us watching him saw as, oh, this is the guy I need to read up on. This is the guy I need to learn about. This is the guy I need to pick up some things from because this guy took no shit. And you know, he was amazing. He was amazing.
That's a good point you make about picking up some things from him because he.
I mean, have you all ever seen his highlights from Florida State?
Yeah.
Yeah, here and there.
Dude was a beast, man. Dude was a beast, man. Like,
I'm a wrestling fan, and then I'm also a football fan. And that I'm like, this is the man. Like, when you hear all these guys nowadays, like, oh, you watch wrestling, these guys are fake. I'm like, all right, put on Ron Simmons. Let me show you what fake looks like.
Let him hit you.
Yeah.
Let him hit you in real life and see how fake that is.
You know better than that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's real. Nobody ever tried to rib him.
Ron Simmons was a manly man. I'll tell you that. That man.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You did not want to mess with him. He, what they say, unfuckwittable. Yeah, that's what Ron Simmons was.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like that, man. Even when we was growing up, there's always that one guy that was around the block or in school. We're like, all right, we could pull ribs around each other, but him, let's.
Nah, we're gonna go ahead and leave him alone.
Because he looks like he's gonna kill all of us.
Yeah, we gonna go on ahead and let him be him over there.
Yeah,
we good here.
His WCW theme song says, "Don't step to Ron."
Forgot about that.
I don't know what that song sounds like, but that's what the title is.
And he was a leader too. JR says, Jim Ross says he could count on Farouk to be a locker room leader, just like Taker. I mean, having conversations about Ron Simmons talking about Ron Simmons in the same conversation as the Undertaker, particularly in the locker room, says a whole lot as well. I mean, he's a real deal. He's a real deal.
I like that joint. That joint's real. Heck yeah. Heck
yeah.
My man's had that soul glue.
His soul glue. Oh. Head to toe, from soul glow to cowboy boots. He is genuine man.
Anything else about Ron?
Yeah.
Before we get to the next highlight.
Brother's about it. He's about it.
Damn. All right.
I can say
our
is
next highlight is featuring my man Stratfax, and he want to talk about a Grand Slam champion. This guy is a 13-time tag team champion, a 3-time United States champion, a 4-time Intercontinental champion. He was a tag team of the year in 2012 with R-Truth. He's a tag team of the year with his fellow brothers in 2015 and 2016, The New Day. He had the best moment of 2019. Everybody know, WrestleMania. And he is Kofi Kingston. John, what made you choose Kofi?
Kofi Kingston. Aside from his most recent heel turn, who doesn't love Kofi Kingston in some way, shape, or form? But Yeah, I do that all the time. Especially in line at the fast food restaurant. But but Kofi Kingston, just like the lead up to WrestleMania 35 and Kofi Mania, the biggest draw was, hey man, this guy has been on the roster. He's been busting ass. He won all those championships before trying his shot for the WWE title. Just like Dom said, the U.S. title, Intercontinental title, tag titles with everybody, and just to have a starting point, he came through FCW and he debuted on the ECW brand back when ECW was the breeding ground for new superstars, the New Talent Initiative, including Sheamus, another guy just like that from that era. Another guys that he would team with that would not last so long in the WWE, like Evan Bourne. But he started there. They brought him to Raw and SmackDown, and they liked him. He was just getting a start, and of course he had those runs and feuds with early on with Dolph Ziggler for the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, and of course he had a great feud, a raucous feud with Randy Orton around the Survivor Series time one year. And it also led to maybe his D push for a certain period of time they would use that as a storyline later with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, him missing a spot, Kofi messing up a spot, Randy Orton being a hothead as he is. Stupid. And, hey, he is one of those guys you say, does he have a bad attitude behind the scenes? Definitely not. He showed up to work every day. Didn't complain, didn't rattle the feathers. But he was a favorite in the locker room and to management as well, because such as WrestleMania 27, they had a throwaway 8-man tag team match. One side, I believe, was Big Show, Kane, Santino Marella, and who was supposed to be Vladimir Kozlov, but versus the Core. And they decided to take out someone no one would miss, Vladimir Kozlov, and say, Kofi, you got some Slimer gear made from Ghostbusters. You look like you want to be on the show. So they put Kofi Kingston on the pay-per-view, an actual pay-per-view, WrestleMania 27, and he was in that 8-man tag. So good for him. He would always, like I said, they'd always feature him in an upper mid-card spot. Some people, in that era, again with the Dolph Ziggler's in that area. And he would touch the main event scene a little bit here and there, but still not at the main event scene. And he was just going nowhere until hooking up with Xavier Woods and Big E, floundering in a story that we all might be well aware of. They're just floundering. They put them together. Going to put them together as the new nation. Ugh. Bad idea, but what were they going to do? And they were heels, but they were portraying faces. And around WrestleMania 31, right after that time, they finally got them. They finally got the fans. They finally got the fans. The fans started cheering them or booing them, accepting them as heels, but as entertaining heels. And you can speak about Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns around the 2015, 2016 era. Man, throw them right up there. The New Day, also being a main event, top-level act during that time. So much so, they got Triple H and Stephanie to do a little dance and jig in the ring.
Remember that. Can't forget that.
Gift that. So that's where they were. They were running roughshod for the next 3-4 years as the New Day, facing off against eventually against the Usos and their best opponents of all time, and leading into one of those sincere moments leading up to WrestleMania 35 and Kofi Mania, where they were putting Kofi Kingston through the ringer, or they're putting the New Day through the ringer because they had to do a gauntlet match so Kofi could keep his title shot at Mania. Here come the Usos and the Big E and Xavier like, God damn, man, we're beat to shit. What are we gonna do?
We don't need this.
And the Usos like, nah, man, we forfeit. And they helped usher in Kofi to WrestleMania. And I mean, that was not planned at all. We don't think. And there's some clips of Mustafa Ali on Chris Van Vliet, his show, and that it would not have worked out the same. You know, sometimes life has a strange way of working itself out. But if Mustafa Ali did not get double kicked in the face by Randy Orton, maybe he would have been in the Elimination Chamber match and the original main event for the WWE title at WrestleMania 35 at MetLife was Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens.
Wow.
So they did do Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens at the Fastlane or whatever the previous pay-per-view was, but they found a spark. That spark was Kofi Mania, and Dom talked about it as one of the great moments of all time. And it's my number one WrestleMania moment of all time, and that eclipses Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. You know, that's how much it means to me. And it meant a lot. It meant a lot to a lot of people. And you know, he did have a decent title reign for most of the year, a little bit longer than Ron Simmons, perhaps. And dropping.
It was brutal.
Unfortunately, you know, he had to do business the Vince McMahon way, and there it went. And Kofi Kingston just went back to the tag team division, and there he lay. There he lies, unfortunately. But still a great period of time, a great moment in time, a great period of months in time that Kofi Kingston was the WWE champion, and it's a period of time I would like to revisit. I want to, you know, just watch some of the main event title matches he had against Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Randy Orton, revisiting that feud. So Kofi Kingston etching his name into the permanent WWE and pro wrestling history books, and not just for himself as a singles competitor, but for the tag team division. Definitely Hall of Famer in the future.
I feel like you summed up his whole career, and
there's
nothing
no
you can say to that because everything you said was spot on. Oh yeah.
But there's still a
long
lot
story
more
short,
to his career
that
than
was
just that.
perfectly
Yeah.
right there. And
That was
yeah,
the hits.
We all had tears in our eyes that night. I definitely did at MetLife Stadium.
a
Cold
tear
as
in
hell.
my
I
eye.
had tears in my eyes.
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I know I do see the irony in the fact that the man that killed his push was ultimately the guy who started his push anew.
Yeah.
Because Randy Orton killed his push back in the early teens. You know, he looked like he was moving, and with that stupid basically killed his push, but yet he's the guy that's responsible for Mustafa Ali being knocked out of the picture and Kofi Mania kind of having a breeding ground to be born. So the irony in that is hysterical, but he ran with that.
Yeah.
He ran with that.
Poetic justice.
Yep. And you know, it's still one of the funniest things that ever happened was when he decided to drop his accent and they called him out on it.
Yeah.
Still, that was absolutely legendary.
Yeah,
He's talking.
that's
Like,
Triple H.
didn't you have a Jamaican accent?
Was that Triple H or was that Orton? Was that Triple
Yeah, I
H?
got it.
Yeah, it was Triple H. It was Triple H.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be Jamaican?
Yeah.
You're doing some of the best heel work
You
right
got
now
me.
too.
You got me. Was that supposed to be? Was that supposed to happen though, or did that like at that moment was that like a mistake and they just said, "All right, we can't go back to it now."
I
It was about time, I think.
don't know,
Yeah.
but the thing of it
we all
was,
knew.
it just fell so perfectly because it was just like he was talking and they were all getting rah rah, and then Trips was just like, he's like, hold up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And the thing of it was, you didn't even know. You didn't even really think about it till he said he was like, oh shit, he really has not been to. Oh shit. Yeah,
It's like something out of Marvels. All the Avengers are all together, and then they're like, "What did he just say?"
Yeah. I think that actually says a lot about Triple H, though, if I could deviate for a moment and talk about him, because he's obviously killing it right now in the leadership role. But if we think all the way back, even before Kofi, to the time of the curtain call, Triple H seems to me to be somebody who's always been right in the middle of respecting, the history of the business, but knowing when to give a little peek behind the curtain. And he was always brave enough to do that. We all know about the curtain call, and it was bold. That was super bold. And we know that Hall and Nash left, and it all fell on Triple H, but they all knew what they were doing, and they still went for it. And they knew that it was a little peek behind the curtain, but they felt like the fans, the business was ready for it, so they gave a little taste. And I think that tracks all the way up to that moment there, where it almost felt off script, but everyone in the crowd was ready for it. And it just landed right because the fans are smarter nowadays, and you got to give Triple H credit for recognizing that.
He is a habitual fourth wall line stepper.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, smashing the fourth wall with a
sledgehammer. Because it's not the first time where he's just kind of not necessarily smashed the fourth wall, but he's kind of just chipped away at it just enough to let you know it's there.
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yep.
All right, next one, Adrian, Suplex Dinner Club.
Indeed, good choice.
Yeah.
He has a 2-time tag team champion, a 3-time WWE Women's Champion. She is the winner of the 21 Royal Rumble. She is the female wrestler of 2022, and she's also the Woman of the Year in 2022. And she's also the EST of WWE. And we will be seeing her partner, Jade Cargill, come soon. We're going to talk about Bianca Belair. Adrian, what made you choose Bianca?
Yep.
All right, well, when it comes to Black History Month, normally we're highlighting those of the past accomplishments, those people long ago. I wanted to put some shine on someone who's currently making history as one of the better performers in that division. Make no mistake about it, today's WWE is a lot different than what we learned. What we grew up on and previous generations. Women's wrestling is on the forefront on a lot of these shows. A lot of your more popular shows, women's wrestling is on top. And one of the more interesting characters or personalities that we've gotten out of today's era of women's wrestling, in my opinion, is Bianca Belair. A former college athlete, you can see, she did CrossFit, bodybuilding, all of that stuff, discovered by Hall of Famer Mark Henry. And it seemed like she took wrestling like a fish. You drop one fish in another water, and she took right off to it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't perfect at the beginning. She had to learn the promo. She had to learn her character to embrace certain things. But man, there's so many moments now as of late that you can just see her take full control of her character, own it, embrace it. And for that reason, the people love her. Most of us on this panel, we've done the live shows and all of that. People go crazy for that woman. Kids go crazy for that. And it's a really cool thing. It's a really cool thing to see that. And I just think she, this past year for her has been the tag team with Jade, which hopefully helps bring along Jade. But those past couple years where she was the champ, she was holding it down. And there's plenty more layers that they can add to her character. Eventual heel turn. Like, a lot of people have been clamoring for, what does a heel Bianca look like? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in a rush for it, because I'm going to let her cook and do her thing, stay healthy. Hell, give your husband a little rub. That's all I would ask in that company. But,
Agreed.
Bianca is one of the most talented, athletic, impressive humans on that roster, in my opinion. And you can clearly see the respect people within that industry have for her. I have yet to hear a bad thing about her. I have yet to see anyone like slight her, especially. And again, like I don't want to be on a soapbox about this, guys, but it's wild how as of 92, black people were good enough to be a champion. Think about that. Think about how weird and bizarre that is. How many of those people of the past were talented enough? They were charisma. I mean, they had the charisma. They had the promo. They had the look. But no one decided to choose them. Mm-hmm. And with Bianca, she is a prime example of a company saying, we got something and we're going to run with it. And we're going to keep running with it, with her. And with that division as a whole, but her particular. And she's just been impressive. And, you know, she's my wife's favorite wrestler. After she sees Bianca, she pretty much tunes out of Monday Night Raw. That's just what it is. But Bianca's one of the most impressive women on that roster. And I can't wait to see what the future has for her.
Well, what you said with Bianca being your wife's favorite says a lot about just her fandom. Now, is she like a casual fan or is she like a hardcore?
No, my wife is absolute casual fan. Like, she could care less. She knows some of the guys. She knows CM Punk, but you know, it's not I have to watch Monday Night Raw.
Okay, so
we're watching Breaking Bad or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That right there just shows the level of popularity and the reach that she's getting to.
For sure.
Someone who's not, in my opinion, just not featured enough or like put in the main event, but still has the draw or that grasp to catch someone's eye. Like, listen, I don't care what anybody else is doing, but I'm gonna stay here and watch until I see Bianca. Says a lot about her character and who she is and how she carries herself. So. You picked a really good person right there because it's no matter what anyone says, I love all types of wrestling, all the companies. I want them to grow, but
for sure,
when it comes to growing your business, you have to get to your casuals.
Yeah,
and you just saying Bianca having a casual fan's eye, it just that little bit it can go so far, and then she can go like, hey, listen, I know you don't watch wrestling, but me and my husband watch X.
Right.
Because of Bianca. So that's a big boost and she's doing it.
I mean, just imagine you see all the videos of kids with the long braid of hair.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, being dressed up as Bianca Belair. And it's like for the longest time little black girls, they could watch some of the talent, but you know, Bianca came in and just blew it all up. It was like, oh my gosh, she's like a girl like me. I mean, she portrays the street girl role. So these girls are out here like oh my gosh, she's out here, she's like me, and she's out here, she's kicking ass and stuff like that. And as I said, you got little girls dressing up like her. You got, you know, like Adrian said, you got people who are not into wrestling like that who knows who Bianca is.
That was dope.
Remember the WrestleMania entrance with the little girls actually dressed like her? That was great.
Yeah.
And that's not something that happens for a lot of wrestlers. I remember Cena got that treatment where there was a bunch of people dressed like him. And at the moment, I can't think of another wrestler who had people all dressed like him for a WrestleMania entrance. Maybe somebody can remember one.
Right. I mean, literally, right now. Neither can I. But
okay, I mean, so her and Cena. That says a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's the list right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, but one of the things that is very underrated is the fact that she designs her own shit. She designs not only her apparel, but she also designs the apparel of the Street Profits, at least in their earlier runs. I don't know if she does it now, but she definitely did the earlier runs. And you look at some of this stuff, and it's just like, okay, I get exactly where she's going. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, she came out, her and Naomi came out in the cheerleading outfits from Bring It On. Yeah. And it's like, people was like, yo, are you kidding me right now? Yep. I mean, she stays in touch with with black culture and the things that she do. She stays on it, and it's like most people. They saw it like I saw it. I picked it up immediately. Some people didn't. I picked it up immediately, and it's just like she keeps tabs on all of that, and it's awesome to see. And I know you mentioned that people want to see what a heel Bianca looked like. Her early NXT run was prime heel Bianca.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to see what it looks like. Go back to NXT. The original version of NXT and watch her cook then, because I mean, while she's not too far off from what she is now, it's just the straight audacity of that character was off the charts. And so I mean, she barrels up to them roles and she knocks them out of the park every time.
Yeah.
So I'm like him. I don't need to see her go heel anytime soon, because I think her current trajectory has many more moons to go before she has to make that heel turn. I do think sometimes a heel turn, it's a necessity because a character gets boring or a character loses steam. She's nowhere near that. So that's not necessary right now. But, you know, when it eventually comes, because it often does, you know, you just can't wait to see how she's going to take that on.
I can't wait to see what brings it on. I think my ideal scenario would be she stays the course, and fans can be fickle. It could be any reason that they just decide they're tired of this, and then a natural heel turn where she says, well, if y'all want to boo me, then all right. I think that would be great, but with the introduction of Jade, I mean, even if she starts to fizzle a little bit, we turn Jade heel and turn on Bianca, and then Bianca becomes a face again, and they could ride that for a while because everybody knows that that's how that team is going to split. Like any other good team,
I mean, ultimately, I think ultimately the running theme right now for anybody who's really paying attention is that you're gonna find out that Naomi was behind Jade's attack so that she could take over her spot, and Jade's gonna come back and go after Naomi, which could lead to Bianca then going after Jade. So I mean the options are limitless as far as how they pull this off. But I agree, they don't need to turn her heel to do it. I mean, you could legitimately turn Naomi heel in that process, but then the question becomes, well, do you turn Bianca heel along with Naomi? Which again, is it really necessary?
Jade's the better heel than Bianca. I like to say.
There's just so many options to this right now. There's options.
I mean, don't.
I
was thinking that too.
I think so. I think and all things equal, she needs that power threat. She doesn't have it right now. There's no one in the division that could be a legit power threat to Bianca like Jade.
Don't forget, you got Mommy on the other channel.
Rhea?
Like a legit.
You got
but
Rhea,
again, other
Nia.
channel.
Yeah,
Fair, channel. Because you have Rhea on Raw, you have Jordan Grace on NXT, but neither of them are on SmackDown.
That's a good.
What
point.
about Nia Jax?
Keep her away from
Nia Jax is.
Enough said.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Nia Jax is like chocolate cake. Okay? You get a slice. You get a slice.
But you can't go for the whole cake.
You're good. You go for the whole cake. You're sick. You got a stomach ache.
And you're screaming,
Nia Jax is chocolate cake.
My hole. So basically, what he's saying is she's too much of a good thing.
If we want to spin it like that, cool.
She's too much of a good thing. Yeah.
Say word.
Yep.
I honestly don't think Naomi has to turn heel herself. I think it'd be all set up where Jade was hurt, but it was all a setup. She was never hurt. Like that whole scenario with Enzo and Big Cass. She just lays there, boom. It was me the whole time. And I was just making you look bad, making everybody think, oh, you were the bad guy, when in all reality, it was me. It was me, Bianca, the whole time.
So are you thinking under that scenario she would she would take herself out because she knows without her, Bianca would lose the tag team championships because she wouldn't have anybody to defend with her. But then when Naomi comes in, it kind of blows that all up.
I know from what I heard backstage, I guess there was something going on with her family. That's why they might have wrote her off. But there could be something where they do a storyline where she was feeling a little slighted or jealous. Like, listen, I could see where the spotlight was going, and I didn't like that you were getting the same attention I was getting, and I just wanted all the attention on me. So I had to, fabricate something to where we can forget about Bianca and focus all on me. Because why the hell aren't they? Why aren't they focused on me? Why aren't they checking up on me when I've been out all these months?
And the odd thing about that is that would play into her AEW character too.
Thank you.
I think it's obvious though. Everybody expected to be Naomi to be the one to take out Jade.
Yep.
It's not the thing. It's
unless she's joined the bloodline.
If Naomi
not the thing no more.
Want to be healed, she definitely needs a mouthpiece, and she can't
Certainly
talk.
Not the thing.
She has to turn up. Even when she was with Team Bad, she wasn't good. So
she needs to turn it up.
Nothing against Naomi. I like Naomi,
she's
but
nice.
What if it's like a double swerve? Maybe them two, Naomi and Jade, like plot each other just to become a bigger heel to take on Bianca at WrestleMania. That's because everybody's expecting Bianca and Naomi, Naomi attacking
do you see?
Jade, but they got to switch something up. Throw some type of curveball.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. Naomi's too nice. She's way too nice.
Technically, if you really think about it, Naomi comes back. She was in TNA. She was a champion in TNA. She comes back to WWE. She gets shot. She fails. So now you have her friend Bianca, who is a tag team champion with Jade, and she wants that championship. She wants that taste of championship that she's been missing since she left TNA. So what's the best way to do it? Knock your best friend's partner out the box and take over her spot, because Bianca's not going to just hand the titles over. She's going to go look for somebody to tag with her, and why not be the best friend right there hanging in waiting for her? Because technically the match that Naomi came in on, she was the one that got the pin for the title, so technically it was like I won the title. So she literally got the pin for that match that she came in as a substitute. So technically, she earned the title.
Oh, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see in a few weeks. And,
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because it's coming. That's gonna be a WrestleMania moment. I feel it's gonna be a WrestleMania moment. It's gonna come to a head at WrestleMania. I just feel it.
I didn't think we were gonna go this far, but wow, that was actually.
Let's see what Bianca has.
I'll be thinking a little bit tonight.
Whoever her opponent is at WrestleMania, Bianca's the EST. She's gonna bring the best out of everybody. All right, BDC, your selection. You have a former tag team champion with Mr. Say. He's in the class of 2008, and he is the daddy of the most electrifying man in all entertainments. And he's down with the Soul Patrol. Your choice, your highlight is Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Why'd you choose Soul Man Rocky Johnson?
Yes, sir. All right. So, I got into this wrestling thing in the 80s, right? WrestleMania was literally the first event I ever watched. And at that time, Mr. T was there doing the spot-ons and stuff, like doing the spot performances at Mania and stuff like that. But really at the time, the glut of the athletes were not like me, not like us. Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas were the first tag team I really latched onto. Soul Patrol was the shit. I watched Rocky do his shifty drop kick. And I was like, oh, look at this brother out here shifted up into a drop. Oh, okay, I like him. And for all intents and purposes, the Soul Patrol was technically the first black athletes to win WWF championships. Not the championship, but they were the first. They were the first to hold gold in WWF. He was been doing this thing since the '60s. I missed most of that. As I said, it's just he showed up on my screen one day. I look and I'm like, there's these two brothers on screen, and they're out here. They're doing their damn business. And he was something and someone to really watch for me at that age. Because what was I, 10 or 11 at that point? So I identified with this cool brother in the ring, taking care of business and just being suave about it. And then what happens? Rocky Maivia shows up, and all of a sudden he's the son of Rocky Johnson. And just when I had started to forget who Rocky Johnson was, he shows up with Rocky Maivia,
13,
and decides to have one more dose of ass kicking in mind with his son in the ring. That just reminded me all over again of how much I loved him as a kid. It can go into all of his titles and all that stuff like that. As I said, most of that stuff was before my time. I watched quite a bit of it after the fact, but it was my connection to him as an 11, 12-year-old kid. Him and Tony Atlas, watching them tear up the tag team division in WWF. That's what connected me to him, and that's why I wanted to speak on him. Because, like I said, there was not a lot like us back then, and not only was he like us,
yeah, I mentioned him before. I wanted to know more about the Soul Man, Rocky Johnson, and on Peacock they have, they got the match when they won a tag title from Samoans, but you really don't have to. You can't Google his name or put his name in the search engine to see, what he's about. Like, you have to go look at them old MSG shows they have on the network and be lucky to see, what's up there and whatnot. And then watching Young Rock, you see how, he was well loved, and you were thinking he was top shit, but he was struggling to make ends meet and whatnot. And the reason why he didn't get back into WWE, he wasn't on that WrestleMania card because he screwed Vince, basically. I guess he he wanted to work for another promoter or whatever overseas, and Vince wasn't having it.
Yeah, they cited contract disputes. But yeah, he ended up leaving WWE, and then he got blacklisted for a while. But yeah, it became literally a series of unfortunate events that led to him being out of the game for as long as he was, and only to kind of really get back in and regain steam once Rocky Maivia or The Rock really started to take hold and charge up the hill. That's kind of how Rocky Johnson makes his way back. I do find irony in the fact that Rocky Johnson was called The Rock by several people within WWF. He feuded with Don Morocco, who was also called The Rock, through his time in WWF. So it was hilarious to me. I was like, it was like, we have The Rock now, but his daddy was The Rock. The guy that Rocky Johnson faced was The Rock. Everybody was The Rock back then before The Rock came out. But clearly, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is kind of taking that name absolutely over. But as I said, it wasn't lost on me that his daddy was called that, and the guy that he was feuding with a majority of the time in WWE when he wasn't tagging.
Yeah, I just wish we see a little bit more of him. I'm upset that he passed away because I did want to read his autobiography that he's working on, and I know Dwayne was trying to push it, but we still haven't got that that book out. But yeah, just like Ron Simmons, he looked like a epitome of a real manly man right there too.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like, that dude was just jacked.
Yeah, there was some stories I heard. I guess back in the day, he got into a big fight with his mother's boyfriend or stepfather, and his mom gave him the ultimatum: either you leave, or if you stay, it's gonna be a problem. So he left because his mother chose her
Yeah, he's like
partner
what,
over him.
14,
And
15 years old.
that's hard, man. That is
Yeah.
hard to hear.
Mm.
I'm a dad. 14,
That's
15 years old.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's Canadian too. That's something people don't
Yep.
know.
He born in Nova Scotia.
Yeah. So that's hard, man. I'm a father myself right now. I can't see myself ever putting my kids out, regardless of whatever issues we have.
Yeah.
Especially at that age, it's just to make them go through the roads and basically like grow up and be a man before he's ready for it. It's not right.
Yeah, you know, it's a sad situation when you have a parent choose the significant other over your child. And don't get me wrong, not to say that all children are when they get in that situation that they're innocent of whatever's going on, but you know, still that's your child, and especially not 18, you're technically a kid, and you're basically telling your kid who's not even old enough to you know drink or do anything other than walk the street, tell him that he got to get out and find his own way is crazy to me.
I agree.
That's absolutely crazy to me.
And he did it, and obviously, you know, he got the most electrifying man as his son.
Yes, he did.
So he did something right. He made his way.
Yep. 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 That one electric sperm. One electric sperm.
So, all right, well, Platinum, you chose a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, a 5-time Tag Team Champion, a Royal Rumble winner, an 8-time WWE Champion. He's the best actor in 2014. He's the most electrifying man in all entertainment. He is the final boss. And if you piss him off, he will slap the slipperless off your mouth. You chose so. Oh man, that was a great choice. It's unanimous. Everybody loves The Rock. Everybody. Yes. So.
Yeah.
So what made you choose
You chose
Dwayne?
my guy's kid. You chose my guy's kid.
Humble beginnings, brother. The man, he's been through it all since his childhood. Yeah, he's been in the limelight since he was a kid, being around Andre, Hogan, and all that. But through all that, he's still humble to this day. He's now basically like one of the leaders running the biggest company, the biggest wrestling company of all. He's the greatest, the highest paid actor of all time at the moment. He's the most influential guy in WWE history. He's probably one of the most influential guys in the world at the moment. It's so hard to even get to that point. The guy literally started, like he said, he had $7 to his name. Nobody wanted him. The NFL didn't want him. The CFL didn't want him. He got divorced. I mean, it's a lot. You go through that. I mean, even your own father didn't want you to get into the business.
Right.
And to me, the guy was denied here, there. All the doors were closed to him. But he kicked that one door open, and he just completely shattered it. And he said, you know what? If this is the only door that's going to open up for me, I'm going to shatter it. I'm going to make a memory out of it. And you guys will remember who my name is. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Just start that,
Yep.
And I'm the final
smoothly
boss.
for him in the beginning of the WWF. Oh, shit. What the fuck happened?
Of course not.
Huh? What?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
No, pal. But
No.
yeah, we lost our host, but we're
We
going to
lost the
continue going.
host. So, yeah, I guess we'll continue on. Yeah. We all remember the night that the Rock became a star. which was the night of he was doing the interview with the Nation, and Farouk was talking, and he was just over in the corner doing his own thing, like, fuck Farouk, I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing.
Yeah,
over
his
here.
faces, yep.
he's over here, like this.
All of you fans calling The Rock stupid, saying that he sucks. The Rock doesn't suck. Die, Rocky, die. Why don't you all die?
Yeah, like that.
I know that's not what he said, but I'm just ad-libbing.
But yeah, that promo where he's like, I'm the champ. He looked over at Farouk. He's like,
oh yeah, I love that. That right there. That was a sign of things to come.
Yeah, that was the night he became a star. That was the night he became a star.
Promo. It's No Way Out, 1998.
Yeah, yeah, that was the promo. That, like I said, that made him a star.
But another reason why I chose The Rock, he's just, like I said, he's a humble guy, very selfless, always willing to put the company over, and especially other guys that you wouldn't even realize that he would done for. The one match I really wish I could have seen was him and Brett, because Brett's always been my guy. Maybe there was a match and I just missed it, but
there was.
The Rock put over so many people and so many greats over the years. Austin,
Cena,
Triple H, Kurt, Brock Lesnar. He got Cody over right now, recent times. He's getting Seth Rollins over. CM Punk. The list can go on and on.
Yeah.
And this is over 2-3 decades of him doing this.
Yep.
And now he's the guy running the business.
I mean,
everybody said the only guy that's ever going to run WWE is going to be Vince McMahon, and now the guy who's actually running it possibly is his son-in-law and his greatest rival, The Rock.
Yeah.
You just know the business is going to go to the moon.
Yeah.
Rock does what you want.
Yeah. You gotta have wrestling heads doing the wrestling business. You can't expect for the business to succeed with just business heads out there. And I say that as a cautionary tale, because right now TNA is run by a conglomerate, but they have wrestling heads in some positions of power. AEW is run by Tony Khan, but he has at least one or two wrestling heads in position of power. You have to have a wrestling background in there in order to make it work. And by far, WWE has two of the best running the show. Well, actually, I'm not even going to say two. It's three, because you forget about HBK and NXT.
Yeah.
So between HBK and NXT, which basically him and Trips were running NXT, and basically ran NXT to the point where it was for a while the best roster and the best show at WWE television. So now you have Triple H running the main show, you have Shawn Michaels running NXT, and you have The Rock running everything.
Final boss.
You can't mess with that, man.
And it's a lesson in humility too, because you're talking about the dynamic between Vince and Rock, and now Rock is there. But don't forget, Rock and Shawn Michaels never liked each other.
No.
Yep.
No.
And now they're working together to grow the business.
Yep.
Says a lot.
Yep.
Like Triple H says, it's not wrestling friends, it's the wrestling business.
They stand on business. That's it.
Yes, they do.
But one thing The Rock has always said, and I'll always keep this to me, it's nice to be important, but it's always more important to be nice.
Yep.
That is a good one.
That's something anybody can teach their kids, and it'll stay through the years, where no matter where you go in life, no how high in society you get, you may be important, but don't forget to be nice on the way up. Because people remember when you're on your way back down.
Yeah. True. I think King used to say, what was it? Keep your words soft and sweet, because you may have to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yeah, it's like if he's he's good. I've yet to see him be bad at anything. And that says a lot because of the many different things he's done. To say that someone is not bad at anything.
And he's not afraid to fail.
No. Exactly.
And eat it.
Yeah. I mean, he took a twice failed football organization, and he's now managed to turn that into something profitable too.
Who could do that?
Yeah, he took XFL failed twice. Not only did the XFL succeed, but it is now joined with the USFL, and is now a legit second football organization.
Yeah.
Twice failed football experiment.
Don't worry, it'll be a third one.
That's wild. It may be, but as of right now, it's already lasted longer than the XFL has done in its first two runs.
It's true.
So
it's true.
So
yeah.
So.
And he's doing better than I did when I tried to start my football league. Oh wait, I never tried to start a football league. Credit.
Word. Yep, indeed.
All right, guys. Well, this is a great show. I love taking a deep dive and reliving the past, the glory days of all our favorites. There's a lot of guys that we didn't mention. I know earlier BDC he mentioned if he didn't talk about Soul Man Rocky Johnson, he want to talk about the man Charles Wright, Papa Shango, the Godfather.
Yep, he was my other choice.
Yeah.
My other choice. Yep.
Yeah, John said Rocky, we want to go along.
My second choice was Devon.
Oh, you want to Devon?
Xavier Woods, everything that they've done, what they brought to the business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Degrees. Very smart man.
New Jack.
Oh.
Should be. We still have other guys out there like Mark Henry, Hall of Pain. He had this lengthy career, and now his son's about to be in the biz.
He is going to be a problem.
Booker T's another guy.
Yeah.
Wait, whose son? Whose son? Whose son?
Mark Henry's.
Yeah. Mark Henry's kid. Yeah.
Jacob is a monster.
Jacob is, Yep.
He's mini Mark, basically. It's scary.
Yeah. Hey, speaking about Devon's twin boys, are they
still wrestling?
Yep. They're wrestling too.
Yep. Yeah.
I seen them weren't they like on AEW Dark? That's the last time I seen them.
They might have done a show there, but I think now that Booker T is over at NXT, they might be bye-bye.
Hey, hopefully everything works out.
They live in Orlando, so it makes sense.
Yep.
There's another guy I would like to talk about one day, and we'll get to it. James Kamala Harris.
Ooh,
Kamala.
Yeah, I would definitely like to talk about his career. Definitely relive that.
But someone we need to be looking after in the near future, Bianca's future rival, Miss Parker.
Oh yeah, Jada.
We will be talking about her.
Jada. Yeah.
Because I did not expect all that, and I'm like, oh, Miss Parker.
I need you to understand when she smacked Roxanne Perez in the face. That moment lives rent free in my head. Because the way she looked at her before she opened her, she looked at her like I will smack the shit out of you. Don't say a word. As soon as she opened her mouth, before she even got her mouth open wide, she had already put her to the floor. I was like, damn.
What she did to Lola Vice, I was like, you hurt my girl? I was like,
hit her with a brick.
No. Oh, I like this.
Jada's next. Jada is next. You hear me?
She is
NXT.
Jay, I understand.
I mean,
Jay Uso, I understand.
Yep.
I understand.
Look, and I mean, and you got Lash Legend too, who came out and showed out.
To her.
She came out and she showed out in the Rumble.
Lash Legend, she's good. Kalani Jordan, she's good.
Lash Legend, Yep.
Yeah,
Wait
Kalani's
till
good.
Trick.
Yeah.
Wait till Trick shows up, man. He ain't made his main event, main roster
NXT is
appearance.
such a black roster, man.
Shawn
That's
Michaels, bro.
I know.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shawn Michaels knows what's what. Come on now.
Shawn
Shawn
and
Michaels
Book,
know.
You know,
Yeah.
Book is giving that word like,
Oh,
boy.
Suck it, duck it, quack, quack.
That would make more sense if Bret Hart was running NXT, but
Straight up.
Oh man!
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a
If
fact.
you guys know, you know.
You know.
That's why he's still the
Hashtag
goat.
IYKYK.
That's why he's still the goat.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Fact.
All right, well, we about to close this out. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this once again. We'll definitely do another one soon. And Hulk Hogan, we come for you. You already know. What's
Not for
that?
that beer though.
I got
Not
the
for that
beer.
damn beer.
I got the beer.
Nah. Them commercials are whack as hell. It's like,
I'll be like
man,
this. I don't
them
want
commercials are
it
whack
goes
as hell.
down that smooth.
Look, if anybody who likes that commercial, it's whack as hell, so you whack too. Sorry. That commercial's whack as hell.
Real American beer?
All I gotta
All right,
say
let's
is,
see. I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
beer man Hogan.
Whack as
That's all I
hell
gotta
with
say.
every hard letter you can think of. Whack as hell.
All right.
Shut us down.
All
We're watching
right.
song, brother.
I'm Notorious One. I'm here with Poppy Platinum. I'm here with Stratfax. I'm here with my man Adrian from Suplex Dinner Club. I'm here with BDC and Savage Eddie. He's somewhere. But until then, we will see you next time. Boom.